Hello everyone, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. And welcome to the English Level Up podcast. This is the podcast where you can improve your English every single day simply by listening. We truly believe that if you join us every morning, just 15 minutes a day, after 3 to 6 months, you'll notice a big difference. You'll feel more confident, you'll understand conversations more easily, and you'll be able to speak more naturally.
That's right. And hey, before we jump in, don't forget to like this episode and subscribe to our channel. That way you won't miss any of our daily podcasts. Think of us as your morning habit, like a cup of coffee, but for your English skills.
I like that. A coffee for your brain. And remember, learning English doesn't have to feel like hard work. It can be something fun, enjoyable, and part of your daily routine.
So, let's quickly introduce ourselves. My name is Sarah, and I've worked with students from around the world. I also love learning languages myself. I speak Spanish and a little bit of Japanese, so I know exactly how it feels to struggle sometimes, but also how exciting it is when you finally start to understand.
And my name is Alex. I've been teaching English for years, and what I love the most is helping people use English in real-life situations. Not just in the classroom, but when they're traveling, meeting new people, or even just watching a movie.
Smiling. And together, we're your hosts. Every episode, we'll bring you a conversation on a topic that's useful, fun, and easy to connect with.
So here we are, episode 1 of English Level Up podcast. And the theme for today is something universal: morning routines and productivity.
We'll be talking about how we start our mornings, the little habits that give us energy, and why routines can make such a big difference in how productive you feel.
Perfect. So grab a cup of coffee or tea, relax, and let's get started. So, Sarah, let me start with the big question. Be honest, are you a morning person?
Honestly, no, not at all. I love sleeping. Mornings are always a little painful for me.
Yeah, I guessed that. You're more of a night owl, right?
Exactly. I get a lot of energy in the evening, but I'm trying to change that because I know mornings are important. What about you?
I'm definitely a morning person. I usually wake up at 6:30, sometimes even earlier. For me, mornings are quiet, peaceful, and it feels like a fresh start every day.
Wow, I admire that. I usually wake up closer to 7:30 or 8, and I'll admit the first thing I do is grab my phone and check my messages.
Oh no, that's the worst. I used to do the same thing, but I realized it made me stressed before my day even started.
I know. Every article says don't check your phone first thing, but sometimes I just can't resist.
Here's what I do instead. The first thing I do is drink a big glass of water. It's refreshing, and it really wakes me up.
That sounds good. Maybe I should try that instead of scrolling through social media.
Definitely. And after water, I usually go for a run. Nothing long, maybe 15 minutes, just enough to raise my heart rate and get my blood moving.
Wow, you're disciplined. I wish I had that kind of energy in the morning. I usually prefer something quieter, like making tea and maybe reading a few pages of a book.
That's great too. It doesn't matter what you do as long as it makes you feel good and sets the tone for the day.
True. Do you always make your bed?
Yes, always. It's a small win. It takes 1 minute, but it makes me feel organized.
I agree. When I make my bed, I feel like the day is under control. But sometimes I'm just too lazy.
Hey, it happens. The important thing is consistency. Small habits add up.
Exactly. And breakfast? What's your go-to?
Eggs, toast, and coffee. Always coffee. Without coffee, I'm not human.
Same here, except I'm a tea person. I usually have fruit, like a banana or an apple, something lighter.
That's probably healthier than my breakfast, but hey, at least mine keeps me full.
That's true. And honestly, I think routines are different in every culture. Like in France, breakfast is often just coffee and a croissant. In Japan, it might be rice, soup, and fish.
That's so interesting. When I traveled to Japan, I tried their breakfast. At first, it felt unusual, but then I realized it was actually really healthy.
Travel definitely gives you new ideas for routines.
Absolutely, and I think that's the key. Find the habits that work for you.
So, Alex, what happens if you don't follow your morning routine?
Good question. Honestly, I feel off balance. I feel a little disorganized, like my day is missing a foundation. For example, if I skip exercise, I notice I'm more tired, less focused, and I even make more mistakes at work. It's like my brain isn't fully awake.
Oh, I know exactly what you mean. For me, if I skip tea in the morning, I feel like something's missing. My body says, hey, where is my tea? It's not just the caffeine, it's the ritual. Holding the warm cup, smelling the aroma. It's part of the experience.
That's your fuel. And for me, coffee is non-negotiable. Without it, I feel half asleep until lunch. But you're right, it's not only the drink. It's the small ceremony that tells your brain, okay, the day is starting.
Exactly. That's why routines are not about being perfect. They're about building a rhythm that makes life easier. It's less about strict rules and more about creating comfort.
Yes, and productivity is often about energy management. People think productivity means working harder or longer, but actually it's about working smarter, using your energy at the right time. If your routine gives you energy, you'll get more done in less time.
That's true. And even small changes matter. Like sometimes just opening the window and getting fresh air can completely change your mood. You breathe deeply, the cool air touches your face, and suddenly you feel awake.
Yes, fresh air, natural light. It's amazing how much difference it makes. I once worked in an office with no windows, and I remember feeling tired all the time. Then I realized I wasn't getting enough sunlight. Now every morning I try to open the blinds as soon as I wake up.
Ooh, I love that. For me, music is also part of my routine. Some mornings I put on a playlist with happy, energetic songs. It makes me want to dance around the kitchen.
Really? Do you dance while making tea?
Sometimes. Smiling, it makes the morning fun. And that's the point. Routines don't have to be boring. They can include things you actually enjoy.
Exactly. That's a great tip for our listeners. Add something joyful to your mornings. It doesn't have to be exercise or meditation. It could be music, reading, or even writing a short journal entry.
Yes, I actually started journaling a few weeks ago. Just 5 minutes in the morning, I write down one thing I'm grateful for and one intention for the day. It's simple, but it sets a positive tone.
That's powerful. Gratitude and intention, those are like mental vitamins.
Exactly. And it's so easy. You don't need anything fancy, just a notebook and a pen.
So if we had to give advice to our listeners, I'd say don't try to copy someone else's routine exactly. Build your own, step by step.
Yes, it's like clothes. One size doesn't fit all. Smiling, everyone needs a routine that matches their lifestyle, personality, and energy levels.
Exactly. And maybe today start with just one small change.
Like drinking water right after you wake up, or making your bed, or deciding not to check your phone for the first 30 minutes.
Yes, those are perfect examples. Small actions, but they create momentum. And momentum is everything. It pushes you forward without effort.
You know what's funny? I once tried the 5 a.m. club routine, where you wake up at 5 every morning to be super productive. I lasted exactly 3 days.
3 days? That's impressive. I tried it once too, and on the second day I was so exhausted I fell asleep at my desk.
See? That's the point. What works for one person might not work for another. It's okay to experiment, but don't force a routine that doesn't fit your life.
Exactly. Sustainable routines are the ones you actually enjoy.
Smiling, and listeners, we'd love to hear from you. What's one habit that makes your mornings better? Tell us in the comments below.
Yes, Please share your routines. We're curious, and who knows, maybe we'll steal some of your ideas.
True. Maybe we'll feature some of them in a future episode.
That's a great idea. So don't be shy, write to us.
All right. I think it's time to move to our final section.
Yes, vocabulary and review.
All right, Sarah, let's move on to our vocabulary and review section. Today, we'll highlight some useful words and expressions we used in our conversation.
Yes. Remember, learning vocabulary in context is the best way to really understand and remember it. Let's start with the first one, routine.
A routine is something you do regularly, usually every day. For example, my morning routine includes making coffee and reading the news.
Exactly. And routines can give your day structure. Without a routine, you may feel lost or disorganized.
Next is challenge. A challenge is something difficult that requires effort. For example, learning English can be a challenge, but it's also very rewarding.
I'd add that we often say take on a challenge when we accept something hard to do. For instance, she took on the challenge of running a marathon.
Good point. The third word is motivation. This means the reason or energy that pushes you to act. Example, his motivation for studying was to pass his exams.
And sometimes we lose motivation, like I lost motivation to go to the gym during winter.
True. The fourth word is improve. To improve means to make something better. For example, she practices every day to improve her pronunciation.
And we also use improvement as a noun, like I've seen a big improvement in your English recently.
Number 5 is confidence. This is the feeling of believing in yourself. For example, speaking in public can boost your confidence.
On the other hand, we can say he lacks confidence, meaning he doesn't believe in himself.
Next up, practice. It means repeating something to get better. For example, the more you practice speaking, the easier it becomes.
Yes, and we often say the phrase, practice makes perfect.
Word number 7 is mistake. A mistake is something wrong or incorrect. For example, don't be afraid of making mistakes when learning a new language.
Because honestly, mistakes are part of the learning process. Without mistakes, you don't really grow.
The next one is focus. It means to give your attention to one thing. For example, I need to focus on my homework.
Right. And we also say stay focused. Like, if you stay focused, you can finish faster.
Number 9 is goal. A goal is something you want to achieve. For example, my goal is to speak English fluently in 1 year.
And don't forget expressions like set a goal or reach your goals. They're very common.
Our next phrase is step by step. It means doing something slowly and gradually. For example, improving your English happens step by step.
Yes, you don't need to rush. Take small steps and you'll get there.
And our final word today is consistency. It means doing something regularly without stopping. For example, consistency is the secret to mastering English.
That's so true. Even 10 minutes every day is better than 2 hours once a week.
Exactly. So that was our vocabulary review for today.
Thank you so much for listening until the very end of this episode.
If you enjoyed this podcast, don't forget to like and subscribe so you don't miss our daily episodes.
And as always,
Both of us, see you tomorrow
and keep
leveling
leveling up your
things.
English.